Here at Totally Lost, we all love to joke around, but there's something we need to talk about today that's no laughing matter. It appears that many of you have Facebook-friended Piggy.
This really isn't a good idea. It's destructive, it's dangerous, and it will lead us to a lot of ruin.
So remember, friends don't let friends friend Piggy on Facebook.
The Fleur was such an emotionally engaging
Yeah.
episode.
What's that for me?
A lot happened.
Charlotte was ringing a bell.
For 2 weeks, we've been waiting for a new episode of Lost. This episode, I kind of feel like we're putting pieces in motion for future storylines.
After the 2-week layoff, I kind of was hoping for something with a little more emotional
I can't disagree with that. Jack, Kate, and Hurley had to get into the Dharma barracks.
Namaste.
Frank and Son had to get onto the Big Island.
I lied.
Saeed needed to get captured.
Well, I appreciate your input there, Quick Draw.
And that was pretty much it.
It's nice to meet you, Ben.
It wasn't a bad episode of Lost.
It was not a bad episode.
There's a lot of intriguing things that happened.
I'm Ben.
We had a strong Jack episode.
This is even crazier than you were.
A strong Locke episode.
I'm a failure.
A strong Sawyer episode.
I'll figure something out.
And this episode was not really about anyone.
Are you a hostel?
Honestly, I don't know.
I think maybe I was expecting a different kind of experience and had to watch it again to kind of really appreciate it.
Last week we talked about Sawyer being the man.
The man,
And
yeah.
we saw the return of Jack in this episode.
Yeah.
And he was very humbled and marginalized in a lot of ways.
Workman.
Which, by the way, was what Ben and Ben's dad were assigned. Those were
Absolutely.
the roles that they were assigned when they got to Dharma too.
Workman? I'm a janitor?
For a spinal surgeon to now be forced to be a workman who served a fairly generous helping of humble pie.
Based on your aptitude tests, you'll be doing janitorial work.
We got that scene at the end of the episode, which I kind of felt like I was a little disappointed in Sawyer. I actually felt a little bit for Jack. I kind of honestly kind of felt like Sawyer came off looking a little bit like a d.
You didn't think, Jack. And as I recall, a lot of people ended up dead.
Ooh, that was a little chilly.
Jack did kind of provoke it.
So where do we go from here?
I'm working on it.
Really, because it looked to me like you were reading a book.
But the way he kind of like fought back, it kind of made me wonder, what's this really about? Are you really thinking things through? Are you trying to prove a point here to Jack? Are you just kind of being petty?
Right.
Is there some sort of Kate subtext here? Juliet subtext too? Like, what's going on?
Biggest reveal, Sawyer's role model, Winston Churchill.
I heard once Winston Churchill read a book every night.
He really has changed.
Yeah, he really has.
The episode began with a pretty kind of exciting action sequence. Kudos to Frank for successfully landing the plane,
Always Frank.
but maybe a little bit of an assist to Ben and the others and Kate and Sawyer, because that landing strip there on Hydra Island, you know, according to Lost lore, that landing strip was actually the thing that was being built while Kate and Sawyer were trapped in the polar bear cages. That was the hard labor that they were assigned to do, so it begs the question.
Why were they having sweaty cage sex?
What's another question you think it begs?
Did they know that the plane was coming?
Yes.
Like in the future, or what were they building that for?
Provocative time travel questions.
Yes. Do you have the answer?
No.
Okay.
I think my favorite part of the show was actually the very end for a couple reasons. I'm so interested in this idea of Saeed being captured and accused of being a hostile / other. You know, it does kind of remind me of season 2 when Henry Gale got captured. They thought that he was another.
Yeah.
I was kind of wondering if they were trying to draw a parallel between falsely accused or not
Right.
Henry Gale and Ben, and falsely accused or not Saeed. I kind of have this theory. We haven't seen all of Saeed's story when he crashed on the island. So what if the others, hostiles, got their hands on him
Right.
after he crashed after Ajira?
Okay.
Maybe he is being forced to play some kind of double agent.
They may be accusing him of certain things. He may be guilty of certain things. Those may not be the same things.
Right,
You know,
interesting,
you
yeah.
know? So maybe Saeed should be in holding, but maybe not for the things that they think.
Of course, the big moment there at the end was the reveal of young Benjamin Linus.
That was an intentional Harry Potter reference, right?
I totally agree with you. I got a very strong Harry Potter vibe. This kid was just like a lightning bolt scar away and a British accent away from totally being the
Right.
spitting image of like Daniel Radcliffe. From a very early age, Ben has known these people. We've talked about for a long time, has Ben operated with knowledge about the future? Does he know more than he should
Right.
know about these characters? And the answer is yes, because he grew up with them for a while.
Should Saeed just grab him and start like yanking him and like bonking him into the bars until he passes out? What should happen? I guess that would be bad because that's like beating up a kid, and that's not a cool thing to
Well, it's that
do. Don't beat up kids.
It's that whole time travel conundrum, is
Right.
that if you can go back in time
Right.
and kill Hitler, would you?
Right.
You know?
You at least give Ben a wedgie. You just give him you yank it and just give him the worst
Right.
wedgie of his lifetime.
You just want to slap him around a little bit.
Yeah.
You purging jerk.
Wow, you just showed him.